All right, Camino Day 24 recap, our last day on the Camino. We finished today. We made it all the way from Pedrouzo in Galicia to Santiago de
Which is
Compostela,
also in Galicia.
also in Galicia. Our
So we
last
stayed in
week
Galicia the whole
has
time.
been in Galicia pretty much. Most of it. Yeah, last 7 days of walking. So, yeah. Um, kind of a surreal day, to be honest. Like, it started off this morning. We had a wonderful day yesterday. First day in over 10 days, it didn't rain on us. Sun came out, but it wasn't too hot. It was just a beautiful day for walking.
Well, it was raining in the beginning, but as soon as we could see Santiago, because you can see it from this hill, you can see the end basically from this hill, but it's still 4 miles away.
Yeah.
But the sun came out and was out.
Yeah, that did come out, but it rained on us in the morning. We had a good bit of rain, but you're really not worried about it. You kind of know this is the last day. I didn't hardly listen to anything today. Did you listen too much on the Camino on the last day?
Yeah, I finished Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, that's right.
And I was in Wonderland.
She was in Wonderland.
It was a metaphor.
I really was just doing a lot of thinking today. Just I don't know. It was just a super cool experience all around. It seems weird that it's over. The last 2 days, I just think they were such a gift to me because I was able to get through those days and just very little to no shin splints pain. And today it was crazy because once we got to that point that Minnie was talking about where you can overlook the city of Santiago for the first time.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Thank you, man. Could you hear a frog in my throat or something like that? Yeah, I'm not getting emotional. I was just, I had a little something.
I know, I can tell. I can just see your body lurch also. He's
trying to hold my cough in. So anyways, we get within 3 miles of the city and my leg pain flared up as bad.
Well, because the last 4 miles are all
downhill. It was downhill. There was some steep downhills too. But I just kind of knew it would be over soon, so I just grinned and bore it and just was gripping at a few points. Seriously, it was hurting so bad at a few points, and I just would stop and try to stretch my leg. There was not a whole lot I could do. But I don't know, you just know it's going to be over. You've walked out 500 miles and it's like walking 2.5 more miles with bad shin splints.
Yeah, but I will say
that big of a deal.
We saw the cathedral from the hill, but then once you get down to the city, you can't see it. And you keep going around these
crazy.
Curves,
you do see,
and so you're like, oh, it's going to be around this bend. Will you enter the plaza sign? No,
it's like coming out of
all the buildings are also high, so you can't see over the buildings, see anything. So you're literally for a mile, you're going through a maze of the city, and you're just where is it?
As big as this building is, it's surprising you don't see it. It's like coming out of the Grand Canyon when you think, oh, around this next turn we're going to see the top, and you don't. You just see another big climb. And anyways,
I don't know if that's a metaphor that everybody would understand.
Yeah, anybody who knows about switchbacks.
It's like going through a maze.
Optically deceiving.
A corn maze.
Yeah.
And Michael Myers is chasing you, but you don't know where he is.
Or it could be just like you're in the streets of Coronado Ranch and Michael Myers is chasing you or your mom, like he does every year and freaks her out. So, and it was Halloween, finished on Halloween, which was kind of cool. So we finally got down in there. We had seen some of our friends during the day. Saw Kai and Yuri in the morning when we stopped for breakfast. They stopped at the same place for us. We were getting ready to go, and they were sitting down to have breakfast.
I think the last day was the only day Kai stuck with his dad.
Yeah,
so.
And that same I met this guy a couple days ago, and we kept bumping into each other different places. His name is Alberto from Madrid, and anyways, we saw him that morning. He taught me a new Spanish dicho that we seem to worship in the same churches all the time, is what he said, when you keep seeing people at the same places when you stop. So that was kind of funny. So yeah, anyways, we get to the city. We're almost to the end, and James and Farrell and Leonie and Rebecca caught up with us. So we actually walked into the final plaza just a hair behind them because I couldn't go as fast as them. And anyways, we got the other side of James' story. He was in the fight the night before, for those of you who remember.
Well, he was just walking home, and I think
he was actually trying to break it up.
Because he said that a couple of them were so drunk that they were super confused, because some of the pilgrims had stopped for 5 hours at the town before the last stop, which we kind of talked about that, and they drank like a ton of beer and like wine and stuff, and then they were just hiking super drunk, and then I think they got to the town and they were all
well, I think they got lost too. Those girls
they got lost
for a while.
And then they're drunk and they haven't gotten into an albergue, so a couple of them were really confused, like trying to check into this albergue, and then so he was trying to get them, and I guess Sergio was like barfing his guts out in the street, Sergio like was barfing.
And then Yvonne got a little violent, and then the owner of our albergue came out
tried to hit him with a walking stick,
like a big thick wooden wall. It was a club essentially, and James had like stepped in and tried to break it up so that the guy didn't cave his head in with the walking stick. But we were glad to know that he actually ended up in an albergue.
Yeah, because we were thinking that he got kicked out of his albergue or something, because he had a backpack with him, but I think he was carrying another one of the.
He was just helping somebody out, so he was being a good doobie and taking care of his fellow pilgrims. So, anyways, got to get that story done. So
then we walk into the plaza.
And
actually, it's cool.
It was really beautiful,
and I got a little teary-eyed,
too.
But it's kind of anticlimactic.
It is. It's
because it's not like
crazy.
Anybody hands you anything or people are waiting for you. Like, it's just like you get there and you're like, okay, now you're done. Like, nobody says anything. Like, we got our certificate, but it's like kind of like we sat there for a bit and like just like looked at the cathedral. But there's other like tourists there, like tourists, tourists. I don't know.
It's a very famous cathedral, so there were a lot of people a lot. But I liked it. I came in. I did get a little bit emotional walking in, like
he got emotional when Mom called us.
So that was a little bit later though, but it was just a cool experience. Like I just was kind of felt the weight of it for a second. We just dropped our packs and sat down on the ground in the middle of the plaza. Everybody else is standing, milling around, doing their thing. And Min and I are sitting there, and our friend Rebecca got a really cool picture of us that I posted yesterday on Instagram when we finished. And it was just really cool to take it in for a minute. And then it is like totally hits you. Okay, now what? Like I've been doing this for almost a month, walking every day, like, or biking all day long. What am I going to do now? So it was just kind of, I don't know, interesting feelings. We went down and got our Compostelas. That's your certificate of completion and whatnot.
It's in Latin. And Dad got his Latin name, but the lady said, your name's Minta? And I was like, yeah. And she said, you do not have a Latin name.
No Latin name for Minta.
Sucks to have a really cool, unique name.
It's hard to be Minta sometimes. So, so that was the Camino. It was just a super good experience. Min, what did you love most about the Camino?
Just kind of not thinking about anything for a whole month. Because it's just kind of like, you just think I gotta walk today, and that's all you gotta do. And it's actually really... Like, you wouldn't think that walking, like, up to 20 miles a day is relaxing, but it's actually ends up being, like, really...
It has a meditative quality to it.
Relaxing, yeah. Like, you just kind of...
Yeah. And it is interesting because you do kind of lose track of time. Like, days just bleed into each other. Like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday just loses its meaning.
Because I felt like I needed it. Because I felt like when we first started this trip, I was really worried about, like, okay... Because since I'm unemployed and I don't have so much money... and stuff, like I don't really know what I'm gonna do, and I was thinking about all that, like in London and stuff, like what am I gonna do, like why am I here, like I should just be home and trying to get a job and whatever, and like worried about it. And then on Camino, like I haven't thought about that for a month, and now I feel like I'm not worried about it. Like I don't know, it was good. It was just a good like recess or something. I don't know, like for my.
Well, I think you're at a crossroads of your life too. You know, you just graduated university.
Yeah, and I thought I would, and it's funny.
You're figuring stuff out, so I could see where this could be very meaningful for you. Because I was
thinking that I would be thinking about and like come up with like a lot of stories to write when I got back and stuff like that. And to be honest, I have not come up with like maybe I have like a couple that came to my mind that I wrote down, but not. Like, I haven't come up with, like, a story idea or, like, a script idea or, like, whatever I was, like, thinking about or, like, working through one of the scripts I'm doing or something. Because I'm just thinking about nothing. But it was really nice to just not be thinking about anything and just, at the end of the day, just, like, write all my thoughts that I had in the day, which was mostly nothing. And it's just nice to not think about anything. Like, a quiet mind. Because sometimes it gets really loud in here.
Sometimes it spills out of her mouth and it gets really loud out here.
I'm the most serene person. Okay, also in the comments, who do you vote is more sassy? Me or Olive? Okay, everybody put your vote down in the comments. Okay, because Dad says
who's more sweet?
He laughed.
And
he called
who's
me
more
comedian
saucy?
when I said Olive is more sassy than me. And she is sassy. Just because she's on a mission does not mean she's not sassy. And he's like, maybe she was sassy to you. And I was like, yeah, she was. Because she's your little photo bug. That's why.
I love both my girls, but
he does not love me.
They're different personalities.
He didn't take me on this trip. He doesn't love me.
But it was a cool trip. It was very meditative for me too.
I would do, and to be honest, people were saying that they did this, like, one lady, like Heather we met, she's done this like 15 times. I don't think I would do that, but I would definitely do this again.
Yeah, I'd do it again too.
I wouldn't not do it again.
I'd love to come back with.
Because there's a couple things, like, I try, would never do them again.
Yeah.
This is not one of them.
If any one of my kids, my kids wanted to do it, I'd love to come back and do it with them too. It's a cool experience. It is very mind clearing and just shed a lot of garbage that you have.
And you meet a lot of nice people.
That was
kind of there.
That was probably my favorite part of the whole trip. Is you meet so many people. And it's just like you meet, and not only that, but you meet so many people from so many different places, and
so many people have different reasons for why they're doing it. Like, some of them are spiritual, some of them just want like a break, some of them are doing this like they're Catholic and this is like important to them, and
other people are like completely religious and they just need a break from life. And it's crazy because at the end you go to Pilgrim's Mass. We went to Pilgrim's Mass at the end of the day, and everybody's there, like Catholics, non-Catholics.
It's like the end
people who are not
of Lost,
who are atheists. Yeah, kind of like the end of Lost.
It's kind of like the end of Lost. Actually, I was thinking that when we walked in, and you see people that you were all on this Camino with, which it was cool. I just didn't understand any of it, and
it was in Spanish.
It was in Spanish.
I thought it might be in Latin, but it wasn't. It was in Spanish.
Yeah, because if it was in Latin, we would have totally understood what
was going on. And like you stand up, you sit down, you do different things, and like we really didn't know what was going on. But everybody who's Catholic did, but we weren't the only ones there that didn't know what was going on. It's like, it was cool, and the church. I'm glad we got to go inside because it was. It's a very beautiful cathedral, very ornate, very.
It's a good. That was more like if we had gotten to do Pilgrim's Mass right after we finished, it would have felt more like climactic ending or something.
Maybe.
This is the end. But we kind of had a break. We did our laundry, then we went and did it. And it was good. It was still good. I would do it again. I would. We
did our laundry, got some Chinese food. The Chinese restaurant we wanted to go to that our friends from Taiwan, Vincent and Dafe, had recommended to us, Huey Kitchen, was closed, unfortunately, on Mondays and Tuesdays, so we couldn't go there. So we went to another one.
Vincent?
I did. Yep. I replied. They replied. So, anyways, so we didn't get to go to the best Chinese restaurant in town, but we got to go to a solid one, and that was a good meal for us. And we went to Pilgrim's Mass, some different friends from the trail there. And then really cool is as we're walking out of the Mass, we saw Rafael and Camila, our friends from Brazil, super wonderful people. Just have had a really good time visiting and hanging out with them the last week of Camino. And so we went one more time. They followed us down to to go get ice cream and crepes.
Which is funny because they were saying, they said, what's the craziest thing about Americans? It can be so freezing.
Yeah.
And you guys are just eating ice cream.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so funny because when we were walking into Pilgrim's Mass, there was an ice cream shop. And I was like, I want ice cream.
So they're like going to something to eat. And they're like, you want to go get something to eat? Well, yeah, we were going to get some ice cream. And we'll get ice cream and go get something to eat. And they're just laughing at us. Like, so
I got my ice cream. And then there was a crepe /ice cream place, and I was like, oh, that would be good too. And Dad was like, okay, we'll get a crepe. So I got a crepe with ice cream on it, and they don't even give you a bowl, so it's just this little.
And we're walking down the street,
paper plate with the crepe hanging over and the ice cream
just dripping everywhere. Yeah, like people were just walking straight at me with like bags, and I didn't want it to drip on their bags.
And we go into the restaurant to get tapas with the couple, and it's just dripping everywhere.
Leaking on the table. It was so embarrassing. They give us a huge stack of napkins, and we use like every last one of them.
And I built like a fortress around it.
It was funny. But it was cool. So we talked to them. We hung out with them. They got a little bit of food. We had a really nice visit with them to end the day, and just super wonderful people, like so cool. Like they're just like the embodiment, like from start to finish. Like our very first day, we met cool people, and almost every day of the way we met. And we kind of hopped forward, so we ended up with different groups at different times during the Camino. But every time we ended up meeting some people that we just shared different things with, and it was cool. It was just a super good. It's just a very different experience. I don't know how to describe
it's hard to. I don't know where else you could really do something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's other, like, places that, like, have Caminos. But
it's a unique combination.
It's just it's a combination because there's also, like, a spiritual aspect behind it. And it's,
people aspect, the touristy aspect. I mean, you're walking through Spain and the different, very unique regions of Spain, trying different foods and stuff like that. What was your favorite food, you think, or some of your favorite things you ate on the trip, on the Camino?
Okay, to be honest, Spain's fun. I'm not sure about the cuisine. It is not my favorite cuisine of ever. Like, I would prefer Mexican food. Anyways, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's just their type of foods that they have aren't just like my favorite. But I'm trying to think what were my favorite. Because I don't love tortilla de patatas very much all the time.
I like tortilla de patatas.
It's okay.
Tortilla española.
It's good. I just don't want it all the time.
Ham and eggs was so good.
It's so good.
The ham here in Spain is pretty dang good.
Yeah, the ham here is really good.
They've got ham down. Their fruit was really good. We had a lot of really good fruit here.
Pears,
the Rioja pears were the king of the fruit. The fresh squeezed orange juice. And it's orange season here too, so it was just
so good. And then hot chocolate.
They do a really good hot chocolate.
Yeah. Because they steam the milk.
Yeah.
And then
foamy.
Paella was okay.
Man, we tried paella 3 or 4 times, and to be honest,
here's the thing too. I'm sure there's better paella places. It's kind of like you just go through these towns and you get what you get at these places.
But some of those places were awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, flan.
Yeah.
Flan.
I think the desserts are what stood out most for me.
Yeah.
Flan, natillas.
Okay, but Spanish pastry game, I think, is a little weak.
Except for apple tart. Apple tart is all over it. It's one of my favorite pastries. It is so good. We had 3 different ones. Every one of them was so good.
Flan, so good. Tarte de Santiago.
Tarte de Santiago, really good. Larpera is like a pound cake, coffee cake in Galicia. Also like really good. Mm-hmm. The chocolate Tarte de Santiago with...
That was good too.
And for all of you gluten-free types, Tarte de Santiago is made from almond flour. It's like the original. It's like 400 years old or whatever, and it's always been made with almond flour.
It's always been gluten-free.
Yeah, always been gluten-free since 1603.
Toast with jam and butter.
Yeah, that was one of Men's favorite. Pulpo was good. I don't know if I can ever eat octopus again because my brothers had to remind me about
my octopus
teacher, and
it was good. But I had a bite and it was great. But I got a tentacle and the suckers like all fell out of the tentacle, so I'm like individually chewing on all the little suckers on the tentacle, and it was I didn't have any more bites after that. It was like unnerving in my mouth.
That sucks.
God, we just gotta stop right there.
Stop right there, yeah. No, the pulpo was really good though. Yeah, that was awesome.
Spaghetti. Dad loves spaghetti. Anytime we got spaghetti.
Well, we only got it 2 times. But
Burger King, honestly, is really good.
Just for the for the refills. I had the best Burger King burger I've ever had here.
Their burgers are
with sun-dried tomatoes,
here.
spinach, and like a fresh cheese on it, like a goat cheese, kind of a cheese. Was McDonald's. No, they had goat cheese, but that fresh cheese that was like a buffalo, or it was like a buffalo mozzarella. It was just really, or a burrata or something. It was just really good. The goat cheese hamburger at McDonald's was really good. Yeah.
Spanish.
The free refills of Coke Zero were nice.
But I think flan was probably my favorite, honestly.
Flan was so good.
Because it's really good, and I want to learn how to make it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see.
Yeah, it was good. Good experience, good food, good culture. The people of Spain are so good to the pilgrims.
Yeah, so
They take
nice.
such good care of you. They're always
And
on
it
the
is
lookout. If
fun.
you start walking the wrong way, there's
Yeah.
always someone that turns you around and says, "No, the Camino's back."
And everybody,
The Camino's back
pilgrims,
this way or whatever,
yeah.
and they put you on the right
people, like, you
track.
pass in the villages, they always say
Buen Camino. They know you're
I think it's so
pilgrims.
nice. It was people who started at 100 kilometers would say that, and I was like, shut up. But
Yeah, the last 100
everybody's on their own Camino.
kilometers,
Yeah,
it
there's
gets
so many
really
people.
full with people because you only have to do 100 kilometers walking to get your certificate.
Oh, this soup was good.
Oh yeah, the pumpkin. Yeah, that was awesome.
Pumpkin soup and the veal that night was
veal
really
was
good. And the butter, they churned their own butter.
Yeah, it was good.
These
queso.
potatoes were good. At
Queso
the
de
Irish
cebrero
pub.
with the honey over it, with the fresh
We
baked
ate
bread. That
squid
was
with
good.
our Korean friend Michael.
Oh yeah, Michael. Yeah.
This is one of the flans.
So good. Oh, the borracha de nata that we had in Sagun was so good.
Oh, I have a picture of that.
Yeah, that was
was
awesome.
a highlight.
That was
and
a
then
highlight.
fizzy Arizonas.
Oh yeah, we loved fizzy Saharas. And what was the other one? Fizzy?
No, it was fizzy Caribbean. I didn't like the fizzy Saharas as much.
Fizzy Caribbean.
They have like the licorice with the filling, Carmelo filling or whatever in it.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. It's not good. It's whatever.
Worst part of the Camino, man.
Worst part is all the freaking people at the end, honestly.
Worse than bikes?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, worse. No, bikes are worse.
Bikes are worse. Yeah. One of our friends was teasing us and saying we were cheating, and
he said we were cheating because we took the bus in.
Oh,
we
just
did
from
cheat.
That was just my brother Paul had told us to do that. They said that skip the industrial zone and take the bus in which we did, and I'm glad we did. I wish we would have done it 2 more times, to be honest. On different areas, like leaving Leon, I wish we would have done it because it was just a smog pit. It really was. Like, this month
has been a fever dream now that I'm looking back at the pictures.
But anyways, it was cool. Bikes was really tough. So anyways, awesome trip. If you're ever thinking about doing it, I think you should do it because you can be in all different stages of health, and I think there's a way you can get it done. Except for this one stretch for about 10 miles or so. That's the longest stretch you go without some place where you can stop. Even stop for the night. I think like every 5.
That's for Camino Francis, though.
Yeah, Camino Francis.
Heather was telling us about Camino Oviedo, and
some other Caminos that it's not going to be that way. Camino Francis is very well developed. You can stop,
and it's very well marked. Like you won't get lost.
Yeah, and you can take your time.
I didn't look at a map the entire time.
Like if you're older, say you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and you're thinking about it, there's plenty of people that we saw doing it.
60, 70 years young.
And they were,
totally do it.
And they just stop more often. They, give yourself 2 months and take it. You'll enjoy it. You'll probably end up getting in really good shape. It'll just be an awesome thing for you. It's
Skinny Legends.
Yeah, it's really cool. So,
which we can't even tell. They don't have scales, so I can't tell you about my weight loss journey if we had one. I think honestly, I feel like I more just like got more muscles. In my legs.
My belt is a lot tighter.
My pants are a little looser.
So,
but
anyways, anything else we should mention? Did we cover it all?
That's it.
That is it. That's the end of our community.
And also, I'm so sorry to all my fans who love my TikToks, because I had one made for the last day, and when we got there, it was so anticlimactic. Just kidding. I just forgot to film the last part, and I couldn't finish my TikTok, so I felt a little pathetic. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But honestly, social media is a little exhausting for me. Like, I have not posted that we finished already, and I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have the energy. People just might think I got lost on the Camino. Because how do I put into words what I experienced on Instagram? It's just so deep.
And coated with cheese.
And sass, apparently.
Lots of sass. And some sweetness sometimes. But anyways, I just want to say thanks, men, for doing this with me and for being cool about letting your dad come and do this with you. That was so fun. It was such a cool experience. Thank you to all our friends that are helping Kristen out at home with carpools and other stuff. I really appreciate you guys helping us out. I really appreciate it. And Kristen, most of all, thank you, babe, for supporting me and letting me.
He's up. Literally.
Babe, I love you. Thank you so much
I'm just kidding.
for being so cool about me doing this. You're a champ, and I'm going to bring you back someday and do as long of a version of it as you feel like doing, because it's pretty cool and you'll love it because you're going to meet tons of people that you love. So anyways, that is our...
And I love Cruz and Red and Joe and Earl and Olive and Peru. And also, if you, Earl was Eminem for Halloween and his hair looks amazing. I just want to put that in here too so we remember.
Very important.
Very
All right.
important.
Well, this is our last Camino video. We'll throw some more recaps together of the rest of our trip through Portugal, Andalusia, and North Africa. So anyways, signing off from Camino, Minnie, and AA, Ron. See you guys later.
Awesome.